Francis of Assisi. I get a particular joy out of when I meet people in the Franciscan communities, and I say to them, St. Francis was for the birds, and so just funnin, but there's a lot of popular devotion to St. Francis in terms of you'll have garden statues with little water fonts on them and birds drinking water, but Francis was a wild man. He's way bigger than his statue. He was a prisoner of war twice. He went to fight battles, the battles between the city-states in Italy at different times. So he spent quite a bit of time in prisons. And I have the impression of a man who was in the darkest, deepest depressions and came home from both episodes of war very badly broken. So St. Francis of Assisi, when he came home from the wars, he wasn't. I don't know how he was converted at this stage or not, but he was the son of a man who was well off, but he kept to his rooms and couldn't come out in public. I've been down this road myself, and I know what it feels like. Just darkness and depressions and whatever. And Francis would come out at night, however, when everybody was asleep, and travel across on the roofs of the houses of Assisi and go and be in a cave. It's amazing to me to consider that this Francis, whom people love, he loved the light, and yet he spent an awful lot of time in darkness, sitting in dark caves. He had several visions and conversions in his life. I don't know what happened, but God spoke to him in the darkness. I understand about God speaking to him in the darkness because God spoke to me in the darkness. It was at the very worst points of my life that Christ broke through. And I don't know why it has to be that way, truthfully. I don't know. At least that way for me. So Francis, anyway, was in the darkness and in the great depressions he was in. There's where he met Christ. It looked like that the cross at San Damiano spoke to him, that Christ spoke to him from the cross. So just an extraordinary man. His prayer, Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me bring you love. Where there is darkness, only light. Where there's no faith in you. He didn't pray at all for himself. He didn't say, let peace come to me, let light come to me, but he wanted to be an instrument of Christ's peace. That's what I ask for myself when I pray as I do, that, Jesus, I love you, possess me. I want him to possess me. And you can think what you like about it, but that's what I want. And I experience nothing when I say that either. But what I want is, I want Jesus to do in me what he wills, do with me what you will, do through me what you will. And so I want to be like Francis, an instrument of Christ's peace and healing in the world. He got it wrong sometimes, like someplace along his journey to Christ, and his family are disowning him at this stage because he's selling these extraordinary clothes he had and walks around in rags, basically. The man who loved marvelous clothes walked around in rags. He had this vision, and the Lord spoke to him and said, repair my church. And Francis mistook it. he went out and tried to buy stones or collect stones to repair the church of San Damiano. Mistook his vision. What the Lord was asking him to do was to repair the whole Catholic Church throughout the world. And the Brotherhood of Franciscans has been in every nation since the 12th century. Now, there's probably other things about him. He was indirectly responsible for founding a community of women, the St. Clare nuns. There was this lovely lady who was in love with Francis, and he with her, and he encouraged her to go to found a convent of nuns. So I just do this to tease the Franciscans. I said to him, "Well, your Saint Francis," I says, "was told to repair the whole Catholic Church, but he repaired the church in San Damiano." I said, "Imagine that," I said, "Saint Francis repairing the church in San Damiano, and he had a tile loose on his own head, you know, because he came across as mad. I mean, just mad, out of his mind." And he wasn't, of course. He happened to have been touched by Christ. And I'm not surprised that Francis died with the stigmata, the wounds of Christ in his hands, feet, and side. So I just would suggest to you that if you're able to, that you yourself would pray the prayer on a very personal level and ask the Lord to make you an instrument of his peace, of his love, of his forgiveness in our world. This is not going to go over well with Franciscans, but I don't mind picking on Franciscans or Carmelites or anybody else for that matter. So I want to say the trouble with Franciscans, as far as I'm concerned, is that there's never been another one. Now that should get you all riled up. You might think you're a very good Franciscan, but here's the priest saying to you, the trouble with Franciscans, there's never been another one after Francis. But maybe me provoking you in this manner, maybe you might, I mean, anybody can say I'm a Franciscan, because I mean, after all, I like birds. But Francis was for the birds, but Francis was for everything, for worms, and he was for caterpillars and lions and tigers. Did he not even tame the wolf of Bobbio at that time? So, okay, so I have to go and witness publicly that the priest of Queen of Peace Church is looking for another St. Francis. Amen. Well, by the way, my confirmation name is Francis, but I don't think it's going to be me, however. Goodbye.